Hey everyone. So I think after a long time it's a clear night out here, and as you can see that the moon is up and I think below is Jupiter, and there are still some clouds, but I think they are gonna go away. I'm setting up my telescope out here, as you can see, and honestly it's so dark out here, and only us astrophotographers have the courage to be actually out in the night and kind of trying to do our hobby and chase all these amazing things in the night sky. So yeah, I'm setting up my telescope out here. So this is my Celestron C8 and the AM5 mount, so I'm just getting started. And I think the plan for today is actually to shoot Crab Nebula. So all the connections are ready, and now I'm a fan of doing it on my laptop, so I have the habit of carrying in my laptop. So I actually use Nina for grabbing for my astrophotography rig. So let's just open Nina and let's connect all the equipments, connect all devices. Let's see, everything should be ready, and after it's all set up, we'll proceed to do the polar alignment. So let's just now loop in through the exposures and check how our settings are, if we are in focus or not. So let me just zoom in out here, and I think the stars look a bit out of focus. So let me just try to bring them and see. Right now I'm looping in with the exposures, like Nina is taking 1 second exposures and showing me how the image is looking. So I just have to, I don't use an electronic focuser or things like that, so I'm like a bit of an old-fashioned guy in here. I like to manually focus. That just gives me a bit of a challenge, you know, the pleasure of doing this. So I'll try to bring them closer to, and the idea what I use here is to actually zoom in and check the star shapes, how they are looking. So I try to make them as small as possible, so that is going to tell me if I am in focus or not. So I think I went past the focus now, so I have to do it in the other direction. I think now the stars look good, perfect. So let me just stop it out here, go back to the polar alignment, and let's just begin our alignment. I am gonna use this 2 second settings, and let's just check if the tracking is on. Yes. So let's just now proceed with our polar alignment. And what it does is that Nina is gonna take 3 pictures and is gonna check. Okay, again we have an issue, so we'll see. So the good thing with Nina is you can actually point it in any direction, because I think from my perspective the stars here were less, so Nina had some problems. So I changed the perspective, and now I am again doing the polar alignment. So I think things are going well. So yep. So Nina is right now showing me that my altitude error is 23 minutes, so I have to put it down, and my azimuth error is this, so I have to put it right to the east. So let me just quickly do the changes, and I'll show you at the end how much I'm able to achieve the polar error. So this is the final error, and I think, wow, just 25 seconds. So I am pretty close to a perfect polar alignment. So I think let's get started. So right now I have done the plate solving and all. So what I will be doing now is going to Stellarium and typing in the name of the object I want to photograph. So let's just say Crab Nebula. There you go. So Stellarium, which will actually tell me the coordinates. So what I would need to do now, so all this I'm doing after doing the initial leveling, polar alignment, focusing, blah blah blah. So I'll go to the framing tab in Nina. I'll get the coordinates. It's showing me that this is the Crab Nebula. So let me just try to do a plate solving at the Crab Nebula and see how well it works. So it is fetching the coordinates now. Okay, so now we have the coordinates, as you can see out here. So I will right now just click on slew and center. So what it will do is it will move my telescope to this object. Just look at this beauty move. So now it has moved. Now it's gonna settle. It's gonna take a picture and will tell me if I'm off or if I'm on target. So let's just see. So it tells me that telescope is not inside tolerance. So right now it is actually plate solving and telling us and taking us to the actual location of what we want to photograph. So it moved. Now it is again exposing for 3 seconds. And wow, you see this object right in the middle. That's the Crab Nebula. Let me just now, I'll be putting in the my H alpha filter. Now this time I'm gonna go to the sequencer and I'm gonna fetch the coordinates from Stellarium. It took me, it told me that I'm getting the coordinates of Crab Nebula. So I'm gonna take a test shot of 60 seconds to see how things are, and then we'll be setting up the actual schedule to take the photos. So no, not 6000, I want 60 seconds exposure light. Gain 600 is a bit too much, so I'm gonna take like, let's say 200, and offset I'm gonna put to 50. This is the settings I checked on Google based on my setup and my camera and the filter wheel. So target options, it's gonna slew to target, it will center the target, and it's actually gonna connect to PhD and also start the guiding. So it's gonna do all those things. So let me just hit the play button. It's gonna settle, and again it's gonna move the mount. If not already, it's gonna take 10 seconds exposures, because when I put in the filter, it's a bit dark, so I have to increase the exposure for plate solving. So it shows me that success, and as you can immediately see the difference in the colors of the Crab Nebula. So because I put in the H alpha filter. So right now let me go to PhD. Oh, it has selected a star already for me, and I don't know if I would be happy with the calibration because it didn't calibrate. But if not, if my guiding doesn't look good, then I'm gonna recalibrate the data and I'm gonna come back again. But I'm just taking a test shot to check out the focusing and other things. So I have actually started the sequence now. I will be taking 6-minute exposures, and the guiding has already, I have recalibrated PhD2, and also the guiding is looking good so far. So I'm under 1 arc minutes. I think this is the beauty of this AM5 mount, that you know, it's just perfect in guiding. I know there are corrections over, up and down, but the actual figures, I mean, I don't care about the graphs, but the actual figures out here, they look good. So once I have the actual sub after 6 minutes, I'll show you how that will look like. Yep, this was just I think a 10-second exposure, and right now we are about to complete the first exposure of our 6 minutes, and then Nina is gonna stretch the image and show us how it will look like. So I'm quite excited to see how things will be in a 6-minute exposure. So, oh wow, oh my god, look at this beauty. So finally it is here, a 6-minute sub of this beauty, and wow, can you believe how it looks like just after 6 minutes of exposure? Wow, sorry, I'm lost of words. I can't believe this. It is amazing, and I think the filter is doing a pretty good job in bringing out the details as well, the Ascar C1. So I definitely recommend it to all the people, and if you haven't watched my video before of unboxing and setting it up, go and see that. But right now, wow. So this beauty, what you see out here, it was, I think, discovered around 1000 years back by some astronomers because the star exploded, and yeah, since then it is expanding, and it is expanding at a rate of 1500 kilometers per second. So expanding outwards, and the diameter of this beauty is I think 11 light years. So it will take light 11 years to reach, to go from one point to another. So now you can imagine how huge this is, but from our perspective it just looks tiny. and I think this is around also 6,500 light years away from Earth, so it is really far. But yeah, I can just see this for hours and hours and just not take my eyes off.